Hi, guys. I honestly had a really rough weekend. There have been some health problems that I've been dealing with the last week. I had this whole random issue with a neighbor mom and just all of these sorts of things. But you know what? It was also an awesome weekend because a few of you guys reached out to me and told me how much you are loving the podcast. And I just had to say that helped me so much. I'm still in a little bit of a funk, but I've got some really good stuff for you today. So I'm Michelle Bowler and welcome to the MLM Moms Podcast. We've seen countless people reach financial freedom with MLM businesses, and now it's our turn. Come join me while I implement real, powerful, and simple marketing tactics to build my six-figure business that most of the MLM industry is oblivious to. I'm Michelle Bowler, and welcome to the MLM Moms Podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about 3 things that I've done differently this time around in my MLM than the last time I was in MLM, or even really just things that I've changed from when I first started. And I've done these 3 things, and understanding these 3 things, it has been changing my business. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it so you can do them too. So I've talked about Russell Brunson before. He is a brilliant marketer, top in his industry, and he's not only a good marketer for his businesses, but he has a coaching program, and he knows the craft so well that he has helped countless other people be successful. And the number one thing that Russell Brunson says you have to take you from $0 to $1 million is you have to first figure out your what and your why. What are you actually selling? What is your offer? What do people want to buy? Then figure out the how. How do you sell this thing? How do you get it people to see it? How do you get traffic? How do you get people to come over and then actually convert? And whether it's people you know or random people off the street, which are the typical MLM answers, whatever it is, you have to figure out your how and what's the best way to sell your thing. And that's the key. What's the best way? And that's why I'm so big on not being that crazy, pushy, pouncing MLM person, relying on my personal network of friends and associates to build my business on. Because bringing in random people and talking to every single person you ever come across is not a good and effective way to sell your thing. That's not a good how. It's not a good how because that's like trying to find a needle in the haystack. There are people who are predispositioned to buy the product and join. So go find them. Go find a drawer full of needles instead of looking for the one needle in that big, giant stack of hay. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm sure there are good people who have joined or bought and loved products from the typical way of doing MLM. But that's more of 1 in a million, right? And it's a hard way to do it. The nice thing, though, is that MLM did give you the what. They created the product, and the what is almost figured out. The how is what most people don't think all the way through. They just kind of think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, so let's turn to my upline because they obviously will know what they're doing, but all your upline tells you is let's write out a list of people and bug them until they join you or buy. But again, that doesn't work super well. It's not an effective way to spend your time, and that's why people don't like MLM. Okay? They don't like being looked at like they're a dollar sign. about 2 years after my husband and I had graduated with our bachelor's and we had moved away from our college town, I got a message on Facebook from one of our old neighbors. We had lived in the same neighborhood for over a year, but we had never hung out. We were just kind of casual acquaintances, that type of relationship. But she reached out and asked how things were going, what were we up to? And about after 3 back and forths or so, she started talking about how her and her husband found this great thing and thought Austin and I would like the opportunity, yada-da-da-da. Honestly, I don't even remember what it was about or anything like that. But immediately, I knew the whole previous conversation was just a segue. She didn't really care about what we were doing. She just needed to spark up that relationship again, And it was really awkward feeling. It was really awkward because I think the best part of it all, though, was I could tell she hadn't paid attention to what I was saying. She was legitimately just there to spark the conversation, because if she had paid attention to what I was saying, she would have connected the dots that having 3 kids and Austin being in a super intense master program wouldn't have been the best time to start any sort of financial venture, right? It was just a really icky feeling. It was an icky feeling. I felt used, and I don't blame her. I don't think that she was intending on making me feel that way. She's a sweet person. I don't think most people in MLM are, but that's what they're doing. It's just what she was taught to do, but there is a much better way. And that's why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. That's why I got the course from Steven, because he is a marketer by trade. I saw the magic he was working with bringing marketing into MLM, and I knew I had to learn the better way of getting my product and opportunity in front of people. So, number 1, figure out your what and your how. The what is basically already taken care of. You just need to turn it into an offer, which I know I've talked a little bit about before in past episodes, and I'll talk more about in another episode coming up soon. But your how, you have to get people seeing your stuff, obviously. The product is there, yes, it's awesome, but unless people see it, they're not going to come running to you, right? That doesn't work for any business. And this honestly has been my favorite thing figuring out, because it's changing everything for me. I've set up my what to be awesome. And it will help people, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm doing my how in a way where I know my target audience is, and I have people coming to me, and I know when they come into my team, they aren't people who will suck the life out of everything. They aren't leeches. They're go-getters who will solve as many problems by themselves as they can. And then they'll come to me for help. They'll get out there and do it. They aren't the kind of people to sit around, wait for someone to hand them a big wad of money, right? We all wish that would happen, but these people, I've set it all up so I'm attracting the people who will work for it, okay? And that's the person I want, and that's why I'm building my whole system, and its purpose, yes, is to recruit, but at the same time, it has just as much of a purpose to push people away. It's the gate that creates a little separation, and that's okay. Okay, I know in MLM it's no, I want as many people as I possibly can. Why on earth would you turn someone away? But listen, I don't want people who aren't self-solvers and go-getters. I want people who want this, not just need it. And I know you guys are the same. That's who you want on your team. And you think that you have to accept anybody and you have to try and attract every single person. But that's not the case, okay? You need to figure out your how. Number 2 is you gotta publish regularly. That's such a funny word that gets me so tongue-tied right now for some reason. Regularly. Anyways, you gotta choose a platform, and there are a ton of them. Regular publishing is amazing because now you can come from this awesome position of not being pushy because they trust you and you have led with service. They've seen the kind of person that you are. They know your character. They've connected with you and their walls have come down. This lets them see you give away information and help freely, and now they can receive that sales message, okay? But when you lead with a sales message, that's when people run away really quickly, okay? A lot of things happen when you publish, one of them being you become a coach. One thing I hear people say all the time is that to be successful, you have to find a coach and be a coach. And by people, I don't mean like my dad or my uncle. Not that they aren't awesome. I mean top business successful people throughout all the podcasts, the blogs, the books, everything. They are all saying, find a coach, be a coach. Okay? So you need to find a mentor, find a coach, look and see if there's anyone in your upline who you look up to, who publishes, who you can learn from. If you don't have anyone, then I can be your coach. And I'm not saying you have to join my team. That's not what I'm saying to be your coach. I'm saying listen to the podcast. Listen to what I'm publishing, because if you pay attention, this is all I talk about. I'm here to help you guys learn all this stuff so you can do it too. Okay? So first, find a coach. If you don't know how to do something, or like you feel like you don't know how to or don't really like to talk, then find somebody who knows how to do that or knows a way to get around it. Like I am. I don't like to talk, but I'm doing a whole lot of things to make it so I'm talking as minimally as possible. If you don't know how to do things online, then find someone who knows how to do that. Does this all make sense? So find a coach. Second, be a coach. And the easiest way to be a coach is to publish. That's the biggest reason why I'm saying publish regularly. You don't have to be one-on-one formal coaching. But by publishing regularly, you will get better at your job. You will refine your skills. You will get better at giving your message. Your whole business will become refined and more clear, and you'll get so much better at it. If you aren't a good speaker, then maybe you should write. But you also need to remember that though you may think, oh, I'm not a good speaker, and I'm doing air quotes around that, okay? Big old air quotes. You need to not compare your beginning to others' middle and ends. Okay. My guess is that no matter what platform you decide to do, you are not going to be the best at it at first. Okay. You just aren't. But as you keep doing it, everything will become more refined. Everything will get better. You need to understand that publishing isn't just about having a whole bunch of content out there so people can find you. That's not the only reason that people say do it. That's part of it. That's definitely a benefit. But the holy grail of benefits is that you will get better at what you do. So there are so many options, but you just need to publish regularly. YouTube is like the easiest thing, guys, okay? It's not hard to do this. With YouTube, you can literally whip out your phone, record a video, and then upload it all from your phone, all for free. It doesn't have to be crazy. I would suggest maybe being in some decent lighting so it's not like super grainy and terrible to see, but it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be every day. I know there are some people out there who publish every day, and I don't think that's realistic for everyone to try and do. And honestly, I don't even think it's needed. Like, I can't even imagine publishing every day with my 3 kiddos. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen, and I'm not going to kill myself over it, but I do work really hard to still publish regularly. The time doesn't just fall into my lap. Like, I plan it. This is something you need to be intentional about. And trust me, if I can find the time, you can too. But just get it done. publish regularly will change your life. I've only been doing it for about a month or two. I can't even remember when I started all this, but I've already seen the benefits. Nothing super huge and life-changing yet, but I've seen others who have literally gone from nothing like what I had, and to having huge downlines and traveling to do speaking events, and their circle has grown and exploded. If you publish regularly, things will change for you, okay? Give it a year. I know it's scary. I know it takes work, but it's so worth it, guys. So, number 1, what you're selling and how it sells. Number 2, publish regularly. And now, number 3, find ways to not attach yourself to fulfillment. And this was a mistake I was making that made things really hard at first. When I first started learning all this marketing stuff and I was trying to design my business and figure out my offers, I was really, really tempted to offer one-on-one calls with people to, people with questions or wanted consultations, like that type of thing. And things like that, that would have been a huge problem, because hopefully my team will grow fast and big, and that would have been too much touch from me. That much of my direct involvement in something would have been overwhelming, right? And you want to have an offer that sounds cool. You want your offer to be sexy and appealing, right? And you want to help and serve people as much as you possibly can. But that would have been a nightmare to fulfill, right? Like, first of all, I don't like talking to people on the phone, so consultations wouldn't have been a good idea. Second of all, that time-wise wouldn't have worked for me, especially as a mom, which I assume all of you are. Your time is limited, so you need to be really, really smart about what you offer. I think the overall word, to best describe how you should approach this, is efficient. How can you be the most efficient? Hopefully a ton of people will get your thing. They'll get your product. So you don't want to have yourself tied to the product, because then that means that your time and commitment has exploded as well. You want the automation in place. You need a system. Before, I failed because I didn't have a system. I was just running around hustling, doing whatever came to my mind. I had no long-term goals though. I just knew I wanted to build a sustainable income, so I wanted to grow my team. But I wasn't thinking out all my moves. My system became talking to every person who expressed any sort of interest. And my system became making posts on social media about how awesome this this is to work from home. Okay? That was my system, but that's not efficient. That doesn't really work. And when someone expressed interest, I would spend half an hour thinking about and then writing, doing that whole paper chart thing, writing it out. If this person joins and they bring a few people in, and then this person comes in, and then I'll have this leg, and then calculating it all out on how much I'll make. And I know you've done that, and that's okay. It's a sneaky, slithery trap that's a big, huge time waster and means nothing. We feel like we're working, but we're not. It means nothing. You're just wasting your time making why can I not say this word? Projections. I'm struggling today. But I know we've all done that. But stop and go do things that actually make it happen, that actually make sales. You need an actual system instead of something that just blows with the wind. You need a marketing system that pulls people in from you. And it's not that I'm taking the person out of the system. I really need you guys to understand that at all. That's not the case at all. I'm still involved, but only when people get to a certain point. Because my system is in place, so I talk to and interact with people who are actually interested. who actually know a little bit about marketing or at least are willing to learn. Okay? Like, it's okay to be picky. Don't deal with the leeches. Don't deal with people you don't want to, because you're going to be vacationing with these people, right? Every MLM has those vacation trips, and you want to make sure you're with people you want to be vacationing with. You're your own boss is another beauty of the business. So be picky and save yourself the heartache, but you need a system to help you do that. So, number 1, have what you are selling and know how it will sell. Number 2, find a coach, be a coach, and publish regularly. YouTube, blogs, all of those are great. Just do it and it will change everything for you. You'll start building your culture. You'll start finding your tribe. Just, seriously guys, just do it. You'll be blown away. Number 3, create the system. What is the system that will bring people to you? And if you want a good example of that and to learn how to do that, I have a course and I talk about ways you can do that. I know this is a little plug. This is the first one. But it's free. And what it is I'll send you an email every day with a video and you can watch and learn how to do this. You can send it to your downline as well. I don't care. Like, pass it around. That's totally fine. And then, because then everyone can learn and grow and you can do this for yourself. So if you want this, I know this is a little unorthodox, but I don't have the funnel set up. I am going with minimal viable product. So if you want this, just send me an email at themlmmomspodcast@gmail.com. And in the email or subject line or whatever, put marketing course and I'll send those out to you. Again, I know that's a little unorthodox, but I've got it and I'm figuring, hey, might as well offer it to you guys right away instead of waiting. Why wait? So that's what I got for you today. I am going to go enjoy some sun, soak up that vitamin D. Until next time, bye guys. Hey, lovely ladies. Thanks for listening. Make sure you remember to subscribe, and I'd really love to hear your feedback, so don't forget to leave a quick review.